Now that you have practiced on the tools I talked about and I'm sure you're good at it, I want to ask you some questions. If we have this plan and we want to change it into this one, I mean remove the extra parts that you can see in the image, these extra walls, what is the best and the shortest way? Think and say. What do you think? Hey? Alright, let me say it because you might have figured it out. Maybe you thought that you can trim these two together, but I say it's not possible. If we do this, that will be deleted. So we can't trim these two. Maybe you think that we need to extend, but I tell you, extend doesn't work either. If we do it, what do we do with the wall in the middle? See, it's not possible. We can remove only those two towers, the small ones. A lot of you might have thought to delete this part in the middle with delete inner segment. Well, this is not a wrong way, but this is not the best way either. But why do I say so? It's because to do it, it takes a while and we don't want to waste our time. You see, it cannot be the best choice. Now I want to tell you the best way to do it. And if you learn this way in your practice, you should be proud of yourselves, because I should say that it was a good answer. The first thing we talked about was trim. We said to trim these two together, as you can see, but it didn't work out. Why? Because the one on the right side was deleted too. But do you think it won't be better if we split this middle and then trim those two on the sides? It's a better way. But if we wanted to do it with delete inner segment, we had to zoom in and do the editing and deleting with too much details, and it took a while, and then we could trim those two. But it's not necessary. You can put a split there anywhere you want. It doesn't have to be accurate, just anywhere you want, and then you trim these two together and these two together. So easy. My friends, I should tell you that this is a golden combination. I mean, it's used so much in Revit. If we want to remove a part like this, we can use this combination. One split and then trim the sides. Always keep this in your mind. One split and then trim the sides. Or two sides, better to say. This was the first question. Now the second question. If we have this and if we want to make it look like this one, or we can say we just want to remove this wall in the middle, what should we do? That's right. Here we should do the split delete in a segment. But I want to tell you the points of it. I want to remove this part in the middle. I zoom in. I choose a split delete in a segment, and then I start. You might think that we should cut this part exactly from here. See, it should be so accurate. You should be so careful. And also this side of the wall. Well, this is the point. You don't need to cut it exactly from here, because you might shake your hand and then it will be ruined. Well, you can go inside a little. Do you remember we said the walls go into each other? Well, here it doesn't ruin. They go into each other. The truth is that you create a kind of safety by getting your mouse inside, and nothing happens if you shake your hand. And also, you don't need to be so careful. So, go inside a bit, but you should be careful that if you go inside too much, you might hit to this wall here, because you have a wall in the middle too. So pay attention, when you go inside, don't hit to this wall here. So the wall that is highlighted is always cut. It's an important point. The wall that is highlighted is cut by you clicking. I say it again, pay attention to this point a lot. One more thing that most of the times you don't pay attention is this. For example, you come here and you're not careful and you click, and so you say that, okay, let's do it one more time. Well, you have cut a wall, you can't do anything else. You need to fix what you did first. You cannot just let that go and say, oh yeah, that was a mistake, let go of it. You see, this wall is wrong now. So, if you do a mistake, you undo first and then you start. So, we can never ignore the effect that our split does. Why? Because we have a rule. In Revit, the walls that are the same, like they have the same thickness, should not be cut. Did you understand that? The walls that their materials, their thickness don't change should not be cut in Revit. So you need to remove the part in the middle in this way. So the thing we learned in this practice was that when we want to split, we don't need to get it exactly on that edge. We bring it a bit inside, but not too much inside to hit the part in the middle. Because if it's highlighted, that one will be cut. And we are not allowed to cut the walls in Revit. I mean, if this wall moves the same in the plan, we are not allowed to cut it at all. And if such thing happen, you have to edit it, not cut it. But what can we do to edit the walls? For example, here you can see this wall has been into pieces. Well, we'll delete this one and then trim these two. There's another way, and that's to choose one of these walls and click on the point in the end. But it doesn't work all the time, but you can use it most of the times. So if you split a point without you want as a mistake, you select your wall and then click on the endpoints. But if it doesn't work, what should we do? We delete that and then we trim the parts just like that. Well, you might say that why would you insist so much that we delete these pieces? Well, we can leave it there. Well, beside the editing and the designing, which is so important, we also need to consider one more thing, and that's execution. When you want to send your Revit design for the management project, when it wants to enter Navisworks, every object receives an execution code. This wall has only one code. It has one code and it's executed in one level. So when you cut it, when it enters Navisworks, they have to give it two codes, while it has one code in execution. So we need to think about all levels in BIM and consider it right here, right now, at the beginning of our job. Practice this part too, and then